Hey, I'm Dr. Dino Pappas. I'm with the Rosti Rehab Centers in Northwest Hills, Austin, Texas. This vlog is about home exercise prescription, extreme ownership style. So let's rewind here a little bit. Periodically I get emailed questions from other healthcare providers, chiropractors, athletic trainers, physical therapists. I also get some questions from patients. So this is a general video about how I see prescribing exercises for patients. If you're a provider, that would interest you. And if you're a patient, what's the why behind our exercise prescription in our office? Let's talk about some of the important concepts here. One of the books that's really kind of been influential in my life has been this one, which is Extreme Ownership. This book was written by two Navy SEALs that were decorated, that have served our country very admirably. And they broke down 4 key points. And these 4 key points are actually how I see exercise prescription. So I'm using the book to serve as a guide, not only a guide for exercise prescription, but a guide for how I see things in life, generally speaking. So that's the correlation. I use these principles to help my life. I use these principles to guide my exercise prescription for patients. So one of the first concepts is cover and move that they talk about in the book. That's building teamwork. That's building a therapeutic alliance. What does that mean to you as a provider? What does that mean to you as a patient? As a patient, you want to know that your provider is on board with you. You want to know that they care about you. There's a saying in the medical world, we don't care about how much you know until we know that you care. All right? And that step, developing that relationship, is part of the therapeutic alliance where the doctor and the patient are on the same page. The patient is the pilot, they're captaining the ship. The doctor is the co-pilot, helping guide the patient towards that end game and that end destination here. And that's building the teamwork, building that therapeutic alliance. So the first thing about exercise prescription, make sure you have a great relationship with the patient. Make sure that you're on the same plane. Make sure that the patient is the pilot, flying the ship. You are the co-pilot, helping them guide them to their end destination. The second principle that's discussed in the book, Extreme Ownership, is simple. This is the KISS principle. Keep it simple, sweetheart. And what does that mean? Sometimes the exercises that we give are flat out too complicated. Patients are less likely to do them. Sometimes we give them a whole sheet of exercises. They're less likely to do it and less likely to know which is the most important exercise to perform. So generally speaking, I like to give them as few exercises as possible. I also like to give them exercises that match what they need to do over the course of the day. Again, developing therapeutic alliance. Also developing the capability and understanding that they can perform these tasks pain-free as long as possible, as much as frequently as possible. So keep it simple. Very few exercises. I like 1, 2, or 3 to be honest with you. Exercises that match what they need to do over the course of the day, and exercises that push them forward with their demand and with their tasks that they need to do. Keep it simple. Again, second principle. Third principle, prioritize and execute. Use your assessment to guide your prescription. And what do I mean by that? Attack the patient's biggest, most relevant deficits first. Sometimes secondary issues or tertiary issues, a second concern or a third concern, will work itself out if we attack the biggest deficits first. In addition to that, often you'll have a greatest reduction in pain by attacking that deficit first. You'll have the biggest gain in motor control, patients able to do stuff, and you'll have the biggest therapeutic buy-in by the patient. And that's what we want. We want the patient on board with our prescription. So prioritize and execute. What's the biggest deficit to attack first? Let's focus our energies on that because the secondary and third deficits, tertiary deficits, come out in the wash. All right? And decentralized command. We want to give the patient some ownership. So what do I say? Hey, if we're doing McKenzie exercises, which I like, back bends, extensions, knees to chest, forward flexions, side glides, and extensions, I want to be able to tell you to taper the dose, how many repetitions you're doing based on your feeling. I don't want you to do 3 sets of 10 or a set of 10 to 15 every 3 to 4 hours while you're awake forever. I want you to be able to adjust that down or adjust that up or make a modification to an exercise. So I need to empower you, the patient. And providers, you need to tell that patient, based on how you feel, you can take that up or you can take that down, but patients need to know why. So what is that decentralized command? It means somebody else having a decision that's impactful for their care, passing some ownership onto the patient so they can take the football and then run with it towards the goal line. All right. So I'm Dr. Dino Pappas. I'm with the Rosti. These are my views on how to prescribe exercise, cover and move, teamwork, simple, prioritize and execute, attack the biggest deficits first, and decentralized command, passing some ownership onto the patient so they can help you get the goal towards their goals as quickly as possible, as soon as possible.